Hi, it's me, James Bradford. Let's get the first part of the way like I always do. Yes, I'm very gay, or whatever word you want to use for it. I like faggoty. I'm bald, I'm old, I'm missing a tooth. I wear these insane glasses. I look like Diane Keaton with the... I get it. I know. So save it. I've heard it all before. Hey, listen. I have got a show coming up on the 31st of August called the Super Faggoty Crowdwork Show. And instead of blabbering about that, you can read about it by going to queercrowdwork.com. So you do that. You've got nothing else to do, right? In the meantime, every day for the month of August, I'm going to be uploading a story to get you ready for the show. The show is 75 minutes long, and I'm doing 2 shows on the same night, 7 and 9 p.m., because it's being recorded for TV. And so, you should buy a ticket. But anyway, I said I wasn't going to talk about that. What I am going to talk about is other stuff. But the first 15 minutes of the show is going to be like stories about getting through the pandemic as a me. And then the last 60 minutes is going to be like pure crowd work. But I thought to get ready for the show, I would like do these like little stories once a day to get you like in the mood for stuff. And I thought, damn, I would start with like a salty one, like a sweet and yummy one today. So I want to talk about how, I don't know, like 15, 16 years ago, I was RuPaul. Wait, what? How was that possible? How could it be? All my Klein Epstein Parker suits. So, I'll explain. I actually talked about this in my Fringe Festival show in 2011 as the only time I've really told like the full story, but here it is for you, special and delicious. Now, I moved from New York City to the Philly area in 2006. I had just done a TV show for VH1 Logo Network called Can't Get a Date. Let's talk about that. Not at all. And I moved here, and I was a huge RuPaul fan, and I say was because I still enjoy much of the product that Ru puts out, and sometimes her Instagram snippies make me giggle, but I don't know that I'm quite the fan that I once was. But be that as it may, whatever, frack it. I was a huge fan. I grew up on RuPaul. It's a very... Trixie Mattel talks about this a lot. Like, RuPaul was just such a beacon for young queer people back in the gay. And so by 2006, I had actually accumulated a huge RuPaul collection. I was obsessed. I had so many records and CDs. I had a bunch of early LPs that I paid like a pretty penny for, like the original Star Booty LP, like the one that Ru used to sell on the streets of Atlanta, out of a shopping cart, I understand, and the original Sex Freak 12-inch EP. So much RuPaul stuff, CDs, cassettes, vinyl. I was obsessed. And I was like, the website Discogs wasn't really a huge thing yet, and I was bummed out that there wasn't like a place that you could go as like a music head and see all the variations of like Ru stuff that existed. So I actually sent an email through Ru's website at the time and said, would you guys mind if I set up like an official website like RuPaulDiscography.com, and you guys could even like link to it from the official RuPaul website, and I would totally love to do it, but I wanted to get permission or whatever. And you have to understand, at the time, like 2005, 2006 was pre-Drag Race by just a couple years. And Ru was kind of in a downswing professionally, which is to say that, you have to remember, RuPaul was never not famous post 1992. But there was a period where Ru's, fame, she had gone from, pop star and model and acting in movies and TV bits and stuff to, kind of having, a radio show and a VH1 show to kind of, it had dissipated a little bit at that point. And I think she was just on the cusp, or had just gotten into doing the super low budget remake of the original Star Booty movie. So Ru was not at the top of her game, and no shade. That's fine. Look at her now. But I got an email back from someone named Joelle, who was Ru's manager for quite a long time. Word up to Joelle. She no longer works for RuCo Incorporated, but she's an amazing human being. I think she does yoga classes online now. You should look her up. Anyway, Joelle wrote back and she was like, I don't know about all that, but we have a social media manager, I'm paraphrasing, for Ru, who handles all the incoming messages and emails and things and handles all of that. And they don't want to do it anymore. Would you be willing to do that? And I was like, sure. An unpaid internship, basically. Why not? And thus, I actually took over Ru's social media, which at the time was really just MySpace. Remember that? Remember how Justin Timberlake bought MySpace and made it new and fresh again, and we're all using it? But yeah, so MySpace was the shit. And Facebook, I think it was just starting at the time, whatever, girl. I was like, yes, I will do that. And Joelle was like, great. Like, what you'll do is we'll give you all the login info for the MySpace, and when you need, we'll give you social updates to put on it and stuff. And then, you know, Rue gets a lot of fan mail through the MySpace account, and you'll answer all of them. And like, you know, I'll give you like basically like a notepad file for your PC, and you cut and paste these responses and send them to fans. And, you know, with your discretion, you can write like more personalized responses, you know, in Rue's voice. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do that. Why not? And at the time, Rue had a very like open policy. I think one of the things I was supposed to cut and paste was like people, a lot of people would invite Rue, I'm sure they still do, to like events that there's no way Rue was coming to. Like, Rue was not going to come to your bat mitzvah and perform or whatever. I mean, unless you had the check, I guess, maybe. But one of the responses was like, oh, I'm so sorry, baby, that I can't make it to your whatever event. But if you ever see me in public, come up to me. I would be so happy to give you a hug. And I don't know if that's really the open book policy with Rue anymore. Not speaking for her. I'm just saying things seem a little different. I think now you have to stand in line at DragCon and pay $50 to get a picture. But anyway, so I had a lot of cut and paste responses like that. But I also, like, a lot of times I got a chance to write people, because there was a lot of young people especially that would still write Rue and be like, you know, I'm struggling with my identity, with my sexual identity, my gender identity, and I don't feel happy and I don't know what to do. And I had the occasion in those times to write back and try to offer them like words of encouragement and praise and make them feel better about their future. I think this is just slightly pre It Gets Better. Remember that? I mean, It Gets Better video out somewhere on the web too. But the thing is, I was RuPaul. So I was writing back as if the message was coming from RuPaul. And it was me. For about 2 years, it was me. So if you got a message from Rue on MySpace during like from 2006 to maybe 2008, somewhere in that time frame, you very may well have heard back from me as RuPaul. And I did not get paid for this job. I was put on a nice like freebie list. So whenever Rue put out like a new CD or CD single or a DVD or whatever, or book, they were very generous to send me a free copy. But I did not get paid. I was also, though, Joelle was kind enough to let me use her as a reference professionally for many years after I stopped doing it. But yeah, I mean, if you've ever wondered about like this public image that Rue has of being like very genuine and open and honest and everything so real, you might be interested to know that I would imagine there was someone else before me, right, that I took over for. So you may not always be hearing from RuPaul when you're hearing back from RuPaul. And, you know, I mean, I don't know how unusual that is for famous people. I think a lot of celebrities don't, you know, handle their own social media. And probably when you get a response back, it's from someone else. I think a lot of them are more open that, oh, I have this social media manager that handles things for me, as opposed to someone pretending to be them. But yeah, and I never signed like any kind of NDA or made any agreement to not talk about it, so here I am talking about it. And I just think the Rue that exists today, I don't know what to say. I don't know how real all that is. You know, she writes like Guru and like all these books with like real generic, sort of like regurgitated 70s live, laugh, love kind of advice, and people like eat her up as this icon. And I'm just saying it's not all necessarily what it's pretending to be. And that's okay. Rue's a multimillionaire, and guess what? You're not. So that's my story of when I was RuPaul. And let's see if I get sued. I don't think I can, because every word I've said is true. I ended up not doing it anymore because I started trying to like make the MySpace page look cooler because it was so fucking boring. And every now and then Joelle would be like, can you upload this image and change the header or change the profile image and da-da-da-da. And at one point, like, MySpace got real funky, and it was the time of kind of like GIFs as part of your profile page. And I remember like I replaced the profile pic with like a GIF of like a record spinning, and Joelle was like, no, you need to change that back. This is too much, and it's too much. And I was like getting a little takeover-y, and they were like, I think we're going to move on from this. I also remember at the time something happened with the official RuPaul webpage, and it like got hacked, and nobody noticed for like a couple days. And then I reached out and I was like, you guys know the website is like totally hacked and like fucked, right? And they were like, oh, thanks. And then they fixed that. So anyway, well, that's story number 1. If you liked it, you can check me out. My official website is jamesbradford.net. But again, I'm doing this really cool show in Philadelphia on August 31st, and you can get tickets. You can even reach out to me if you can't afford tickets, but you'd like to come. You can email me. I think there's an email address or a web form on the website, which is queercrowdwork.com. But you can also email management@jamesbradford.net and let me know that you can't afford tickets, and I will give you tickets. I'm happy to do that. I'll give you a comp code so you can get some tickets to the show if you're in Philly or you want to come to Philly, or if you just love me, and why wouldn't you? This was video number 1. I have a maybe even more scandalous story to tell you tomorrow. So I guess you're just gonna have to subscribe to whatever this is: YouTube, TikTok, Instagorf, Gromp. Isn't that a thing? Gromp, Gorf. Doesn't it Musk have a Nazi chatbot who would love me? But yeah, please come to the show, or just watch these videos and adore me. You can also, by the way, if you are a Richie Rich, say you're an amazing cosmopolitan lesbian with money to kill, you could buy pay it forward tickets and get those to someone that can't afford to come. And then that covers the free ones that I give away. And then I could pay the videographer and the venue and stuff like that. Okay, thanks for watching. This was great, if I do say so myself, and I do. And I'll spock to you tomorrow, I guess, unless I get bored of this and give up. I hate doing this in horizontal. I know, what is it, landscape versus I'm old. Because I don't feel like I'm looking at the camera. Too late now, bitch. Bye.